Good afternoon. Welcome back to Parkinson Canada Facebook Live events. Today is the sixth event and our final one so far. And what we are going to be doing is pulling everything that we've been working on. We're going to pull it together and we're going to add resistance. Now, sometimes people will hear resistance and they get a little bit up in arms about that. But the fact of the matter is that we're using resistance in our day-to-day activities all the time. Consider if you reach for a book, there's added weight in the book. If you're reaching for something out of your refrigerator, you're pulling the door open, there's resistance right there. You're reaching in to get something, more resistance. So for our purposes, we're going to refer to resistance as anything that's going to help slow down the motion that you're doing. You have to work harder to make the same thing happen. So if I'm going to do a bicep curl without a weight, I can still put effort into it. But if I add a weight, I have to work harder. And that's what we're going to be working on today. The beautiful thing about resistance is that it does not require that you use a barbell or a dumbbell. You can use anything that offers weight or resistance that's going to work against the effort that you're making. So for example, I can decide here, I'm going to use this duck. It's forcing me to work a little bit harder. So this is what we're going to be working on today. But first, like every week, what I want to do is I want to get a little bit of a warm-up happening. So we just want to get the blood flowing, your heart pumping a bit, sending out that message, get ready, we're going to start working. So if you can, march on the spot, get your arms and legs working with you. And light on your feet, so there's no clunking, core's nice and tight, shoulders are pulled back and down, and we're moving. If you're doing this from a seat, you're fine, you can still do the exact same thing. Keep moving. Keep going, keep marching. We're marching, we're marching. Now I'm going to come a little bit wider. And if you can, bring your legs up a little bit higher. Remember, our power move says that we want to do things large and fast. The more we demand of our body, the better we do. Okay? So now let's just keep marching, small arm circles. Let them get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And then we're going to go the opposite way. So we're going to go from big circles and just gradually let them get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Keep going. Good, 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 good. And just take a break. So you should feel now, your heart rate should have come up a little bit. That's important. That's good news. It tells us that the heart and lungs are doing exactly what our body needs them to do. So, as I said, we're going to be working on resistance. If anyone has with them a towel, a book, hand weights, now's the time to grab them because we're going to be doing some movement-based exercises that we're going to be using some resistance. So I'm going to show you today, or right now actually, different types of resistance. So I'm going to start off with the most available option for resistance, and it's just a towel. I'm going to grab it at either ends. I can roll it up if I want. And all I'm going to ask you to do is come down into a squat position. Okay, remember, core's nice and tight, belly button pulled towards your back. I'm putting the weight on my heels, and I'm pushing my seat down. At that same time, I'm going to hold the towel with my arms up at shoulder width, and I'm going to pull against the towel and relax, and pull and relax. So you'll see I'm not getting this huge movement, but I am certainly feel my muscles in my chest, even into my neck, engaging. If I pull hard, then I feel it more. If I don't pull as hard, but I'm still working, I can accommodate the amount of resistance that I'm offering to my body. Pull and relax. Pull and relax. Two more. Pull and relax and pull and relax. So this is just a regular towel, nothing fancy. You pull something out of your linen closet, you can take the belt off of a robe, off of your pants, anything that's gonna offer that little bit of resistance, saying you can't pull past a certain point, but the muscles must contract and sustain that contraction. So we're building endurance. How long can that muscle maintain that contraction? So if you're walking very casually with groceries, you're holding on to those groceries a lot longer than we would be doing a few repetitions in the gym. So I want you to make friends with resistance versus saying, oh no, that's not for me. It's for all of us. It helps build strength, it helps build stamina, and this is what we want. So again, I'm still gonna be holding on to my towel. I'm gonna come into that lunge position. So remember, my lunge position is I'm gonna step forward. I have the weight on my front heel. I'm lifting my back heel. And this time I'm gonna be on a diagonal. So my right arm is higher than my left, and I'm gonna pull and relax. And pull and relax. So you can see I'm relaxing. The towel is nice and loose, but now it's tight. And relax. And pull and relax. Let's do two more. I'm pulling with both arms. Down, last one, pull. Good, and now we're gonna switch to the other side. So I'm bringing my left foot forward, my right foot is in the back. Again, the weight is on my left heel. My abs are nice and tight. And I'm gonna actually bring my left arm up. Right arm is down. I'm gonna pull and relax. Pull, core tight and relax. Watch that you don't lean back. Pull and relax and pull and relax. Let's do two more. And pull and relax. Last one. Pull and relax. So I'm hoping that most of you are quite surprised at how much work it is just to use a towel for resistance. It's super important that you incorporate this into your day-to-day life and recognize you don't have to have a barbell or a formal dumbbell. Anything that's going to offer resistance is going to help you move a little bit better. So we want to work on tricep. That's the back of my arm. For this one, I am going to take a weight, but again, I could take, here's a bottle. Okay? So, regular water bottle. I'm going to lean forward, keeping my core nice and tight. My back is flat. I have the weight on my heels. My knees are soft. I'm going to push back and back. So watching that I'm not bending my wrist, hoping that cap does not fall off. Good. Squeeze so that you feel the back of your arm engaging. And you can decide how much resistance you want. Push. So even something as simple as a bottle of water can offer the resistance that we're looking for. Nice and simple. Other hand, same positioning. My core is nice and tight. I'm going to hinge forward a touch. I have my right hand is on my right leg. Left arm is bent at 90 degrees, and I'm pushing back. Of course, if you're not comfortable adding a weight, you can do it without a weight. The important thing is that you're not just flinging your arm. Push. And I'm making sure that I'm using my own body resistance here. Pushing. And pushing. And push. Two more. 1 and 2. Good. So now what we're going to work on is the front of the arm, our bicep curl. That's your bicep curl. We're bringing our hand up to the shoulder. Okay? So we're going to use resistance again. So you can take, again, a book. You can take anything that you have around. If you want something heavier, go into your pantry, take out a can of orange juice, can of apple juice, anything that's going to offer extra weight that's going to make you work a little bit harder. for my purposes, just to show you the variety of options that we have, I have a band here. It's a resistance band, and it has stretch to it. And you can get these almost anywhere. Not an expensive tool, and a great one to have. So what I am doing is I'm stepping on one part of the band, and I'm putting it through the arch of my foot so I don't risk it slipping. And what I'm going to do, core is tight, pull the other leg out of the way, bring my hand up to my shoulder. Now for my purposes, I'm finding it's not enough resistance, so I'm going to shorten the lever, stepping on more, and now I have to work harder. Pull and pull. So I'm bringing my hand with the handle up to my shoulder. Good. And you should be feeling that you're working hard. With the bands, what I like about it, it helps take you to a full range of motion, and you actually feel your core, your abs and your back helping to stabilize what you're doing. So I just worked my right arm. I'm going to show you how we can do them both together if we're using the bands. So I'm going to stand on them. As you can see again, I put them through. I'm standing on it, but I have it right at the arch of my foot so I don't worry about the band slipping. My core is nice and tight, and then pull, and pull. And I can do both together. Pull and pull. Good. Breathe out and in. So you'll find if you're using the bands that they become somewhat loose when your arm is in extension because the muscle is stretched, and they're going to get tight as the muscle is in flexion, as it's contracting. When I'm doing it like this with the bands, my core has to work hard so I don't get into that. I want to make sure I'm keeping my core still. So again, we're taking everything that we've worked on in previous sessions, pulling it together, and offering resistance. Good. So I want everybody to embrace resistance. Don't shy away from it. It's something that, whether we like it or not, we're coming up against. If you're working in the garden, you're having to reach and then rake something back, or using a shovel or even a trowel, the earth becomes that resistance. When you're swimming, wonderful exercise, the water offers resistance. So resistance is all around us. We might as well embrace it. It will help us certainly navigate through our day-to-day activities in a much, much easier way. And you build strength that way. And this is what we want to focus on. So we just did a few with our arms, and I'm going to show you a couple more, and then I want to do a little bit lower body, just to show you how much resistance is around us all the time. So very similar to what I did before, I'm going to step on the band. Again, it's at my arch, and I am going to be bringing my arm up to my shoulder and down. Shoulder and down. Shoulder and down. My core is tight. My knees are soft. If I want to do both arms at the same time, start with my palms down and up. And obviously, it's much more work because I have resistance coming on both ends of the band. Core is tight. Okay, my knees are soft. Note and pause. If I'm not comfortable with that, I want to go back to one arm. I can do that. I can alternate arms. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to a side raise. So you'll see that I keep moving the band, and that's so that I can determine the amount of resistance that I'm offering. This is just fine for me. Look at how loose it is at the end. Up here, it's tight. If I want it to be looser, I allow for more slack. Come like that. Okay? So, one foot's on the band, and I'm lifting up to my shoulder and down. shoulder, and down. Shoulder. 2 more. Coming up, and coming up. So we've done this to the right side. Let's do it to the left. And always just try it out. See how it feels at first. You're not going to have the exact amount of resistance using a band on both sides. But if it's, too heavy, I'm going to let it out a bit. And there, I'm good to go. But always check it out. Up to my shoulders, core's tight. And you'll see that that is always an urge. I'd rather you stop there and keep your core still than that. Because in actual fact, you're just twisting yourself and putting yourself in a compromised position, and safety is our absolute concern. So if I just drop the bands now, I want to show you the exact same thing. I can do it with my arms without any weight, without any resistance. From an external force, it's just my own body working. Coming up, forward, and down. Coming up, out, and down. This is very different from here, here, and down. Here, here, and down is nothing. But what we are doing is coming to the side, coming forward, and down. I'm making sure that my muscles are working in a very controlled manner so that I feel the work. Coming back to this big T is what we're so interested in. Big movement. Open up your chest and down. 2 more. Up, open, and down. Up, open, and down. It's very important, and I keep repeating this, that we work on large movements, whether on a diagonal, or whether we're just bringing the arms out to the sides, overhead, if we're capable of doing that. For some people that have shoulder problems, that's going to be a limiting issue. But the most important thing is I want you to be working a little bit harder than you normally would in your day-to-day life. So if we're walking somewhere, take a little bit of a bigger step every so often. Pick up the pace if you can. Just vary what you're asking your body to do and how you're asking your body to work. It will thank you. So what we're going to do now is a little bit with our lower body. And we have been working on, doing our squat. Remember the weights on our heels and our lunges. That's our forward lunge. That's our back lunge. What we're going to do now is add resistance in the simplest of ways. I'm going to take the same towel that I was using before, and I'm just going to pop it on the floor so that I can use it to slide. The most important thing about using a towel, you can use a paper plate, a napkin, you can do it in your stocking feet. The important thing is that the foot that does not have the towel or paper plate underfoot, that's the foot that you want to be stabilizing on. So for our purposes here, what we're going to do is I am keeping my core nice and tight. I'm going to slide my foot forward and back. Push it back. Coming forward, core's tight, together, and back. Your muscles have to work harder and be more fluid when they're sliding against this type of resistance. I want you to notice where my upper body is. It's not sliding with my leg. My core is engaged. Remember when we were discussing this several sessions ago when we were talking about core stability, now we're really relying on that core to be nice and stable so it can accommodate for this type of movement. All of these exercises certainly can be done seated in a chair. We want lots of mobility, good range of motion. Okay, so we're going to switch feet. So now I have it so that the resistance, for me, I'm using a towel, is on my left foot. My core is tight, belly button towards my back. I'm going to slide on the ball of my foot forward, together, and back. I'm tightening my seat and my hamstring, the muscle in the back of my leg. Together. Forward, pull, and back. And forward, pull, and back. And this one, it should feel good. Nice and fluid. Take your time with it. If you push hard on that resistance, it's very hard to move. So your core has to take up some of that weight so you can slide it in a very fluid manner. Good. So what I want to do now is work on side-to-side movement. So you'll notice I'm not going to ask you to walk all over the place when we have this kind of resistance. Watch that the bits of the towel don't get under your other foot. And what we're going to do here is I have the resistance on my right foot now. I'm coming into my squat and I'm pushing my leg out, keeping my toe pointing forward. Push and push. So the weight is coming onto my left heel, the one that does not have the towel. I'm really pushing. You should be able to feel it on the inside of your leg. And push. In. Let's do two more. Push and in and push and in. Good. We're going to do it now with my left leg. And I want you to see the positioning again. Sometimes this can be an awkward position. So what I'm doing is, here's my squat. Weight is on the heel, the foot that does not have the resistance being offered to it. And I'm pushing and pull. Push, pull, push, and pull. Push, pull, push. The weight again on my heel. Core is nice and tight. Some questions? Great. So we have a question now about suggestions about working out in the heat, particularly if you're not in an air-conditioned home, apartment, or wherever it is that you are. First things first, consider the time of day that you're working out. I try to avoid working out or biking or anything else outdoors for any extended period of time between, let's say, 11 and 3. So earlier in the morning is best. Later in the day, as the sun starts to go down a little bit, it's not as hot. Super important. It's not a coincidence that I have my drink standing by. I want to make sure that I'm drinking a lot. This year, I've kind of made a pact with myself that I'm going to carry a drink with me wherever I go and continually drink and not wait till I'm thirsty, because by the time you're thirsty, you're already showing some signs of dehydration. So lots and lots of fluid. It's super important. If you're doing a heavy workout, there's all sorts of supplements that you can put in. I drink sometimes a vitamin water and I'll add cranberry juice. You can add citrus into your plain water. Just make sure that you are replacing your fluids all the time. We tend to underestimate that when we're sweating in the heat, even if we're not working out, we're obviously losing fluids and electrolytes. And the electrolytes are what helps keep our body moving, and our muscles need the sodium. So if you're sweating and you ever taste it, you go, oh, it is very salty. That's right. You're losing sodium. So you want to make sure that you're drinking properly, eating properly, and consider the temperature. If it's too hot, just wait it out a bit. Otherwise, you risk getting a headache and just not feeling well, and that'll keep you away from exercise. So early morning, later on in the day when you're not in the sun, if you insist on doing it midday, at least try to stay in the shade as much as possible. That will help you. I hope that gives you some help on that. Make sure you're drinking. Super, super important. Okay? So we're going to do, we want to do a little bit more for abs. And that's what we have done. The best thing that we can do, I love doing the planks. You can do a one-handed plank. So you'll see I'm making an angle against my wall. One hand, I'm bending my elbow and I'm coming in. I'm gonna hold till I feel my abs working and come out. I'm gonna come in and out. Of course, you can do both hands. In, your core tight, don't let yourself sag. If you feel any pain into your back, stop and reposition. So come in and back. And come in and back. And keep adding time that you're holding your plank. To know whether you're doing a plank properly, consider the name of it. It's called a plank so that you're making your body look like a plank of wood, nice and straight. It's a wonderful exercise to lend support to both your spine, keep your abdominal area nice and strong. We can also do, and this is a little bit tougher, a side plank. So again, I have my hand on the wall. I'm just going to lean in and out. And this is a little bit more tricky because most of us end up doing that. So just keep moving in until you can bring your whole body in and out. Planks are your friend, as is resistance. Keep your bodies moving. Work hard. And the more you ask your body to do, remarkably, with practice, the more it can do. But as the temperature soars, really consider how much fluid you're taking in, making sure you're eating properly, get fruits and vegetables into your system, protein to help build muscle. And just take good care of yourself. Stay away from the junk. Try and keep yourself nice and active. Core engaged, lots of mobility, lots of arm movements, legs. If you're finding it that you're too hot to be outside, if you are fortunate enough to have air conditioning, then get yourself into a cool spot, go into the basement, and just work moderately. Listen to your body. Respect what your body's telling you. If it's saying today's not the day to be working out, then listen to your body. It's not going to fail you. The only time you don't want to listen to your body is telling you the same thing every day. Hey, don't work out. We want to stay active. We want to keep moving. And again, embrace resistance. We have the weights like I showed you. I use the towel. I use resistance bands. Most of the items that I'm using, you have at home, with the exception, obviously, the hand weights and the resistance band. But everything else, a towel, a belt, groceries, books, everything like that can offer resistance. If I wanted to do the sliding work and I didn't have a towel nearby, I'm in my socks, I'm pushing out to the side. Push. I can keep offering different forms of resistance by working my body hard and consistently. Your body wants to move. We're hearing more and more research how incredibly important exercise is, not just for obviously for our cardiovascular system, but for our brain. And a lot of Parkinson's research is really linking the beauty of exercise and the management of the physical symptoms of Parkinson's. Add to it, when you exercise, you feel better. You get those endorphins released. Go outside, go for a walk, do some of the things that I've showed you. Get your arms pumping. Don't be afraid to be a little bit more active. If you need a chair or something by your side for added support, then by all means have that. Anything that's going to help you to keep that body moving is going to be your friend. So from this, I hope everybody learned a little bit. You can refer back to these videos over time if anyone has any questions. You can put it through Parkinson Canada onto their website, onto their Facebook page. You can contact me. My name is Randy Brotman. I can be reached at perk.training@gmail.com. I'm also on Facebook at Perk Training. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll do my best to get back to you and to answer all questions. And until then, I want everyone to stay active, stay moving. Again, any questions? let me know, and we'll do our best to keep things going. So until we close off, I'm just going to keep showing you a variety of exercises that we can do. No, I'm sorry? Okay, so we just got the okay that we've hit our 30-minute mark. I want to thank everyone for coming out. Again, stay active. Any questions, please feel free to contact me. Reach out to Parkinson Canada. Find a time, make the time to exercise. The time is today. Don't wait till tomorrow, because you can exercise again tomorrow. Until we meet again, have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and thanks for coming out.